And we're off here at Doak. Through the end zone, and the Lions will begin their first drive at their own 25-yard line. Eric Rodriguez is the starting quarterback for the Lions, the junior from Houston, Texas. He was the backup last week to Will Madonna, came in the middle of the second quarter, played half their games last year. They like his mobility, Rod.
Yeah, they talked about how Eric Rodriguez, he earned the right to be the starter today, just simply off of his mobility and his confidence in the way that he threw the ball last week. And so today, he's going to have to put that on full display versus this very stingy Seminoles defense.
E.J. Oakman, the back in the backfield, the sophomore from Pflugerville, Texas, at the right hip of Rodriguez. 1st and 10. They hand it off to Oakman on the right side, gets stood up after a couple of yards there. Tackle made by Earl Little Jr., and you're going to hear that name a lot today.
Yes, we will. Earl Little Jr. is a guy that you want to circle every time you play the Seminoles. He's very active in that back end. You don't quite know where he's going to align, but he will be close to that ball.
2nd and 7 after the 3-yard gain by Oakman. This time, Rodriguez keeps. Not much there, maybe a yard on that one. Earl Little Jr. plugged that hole up pretty quick on the left side.
And it's going to be very difficult for them to run the zone read option today because this 3-3-5, they have 5 defensive backs across the field, and Earl Little is often the guy who's just attack the football. Once you see the ball, go get it. And there he was on that play.
So 3rd and 6 upcoming for the Lions. Florida State opened up in a 4-3. They've got to get to the 35-yard line, the Lions. Play action. Rodriguez swallowed up in the backfield and sacked. A loss on the play there. Darrell Jackson Jr., the man in the middle, part of the spine of the defense, took him down.
Darrell Jackson, he is that spine of that defense. And what I love most about him on this play is he keeps going. He's fighting. He's moving his arms. And they're just relentless. And there he is making a sack on his first play of this drive.
So the Seminoles hold there. Ben Meehan to punt, awaiting at his 11-yard line. Squirrel White, the punt returner this week. Him and Jalen Lucas flipped responsibilities there. So White on a line drive punt will let it bounce. And the Lions will down it at the 22-yard line. So Florida State will start their first drive at the 22-yard line. The Lions moved the ball well last week, but basically put themselves in a bind multiple times due to turnovers. Tommy Castellanos reunited with Gus Malzahn, who recruited him initially at UCF. When asked about reuniting with Malzahn, he said, look, man, I love it. He's not the head coach right now, he's the OC, but he can pour everything into me. And I know what he's thinking before Gus does. Here's Castellanos, they hand it off. Short gain by Gavin Sawchuck. Levon Williams with the tackle.
And it was interesting talking to defensive coordinator Coach Tyler this week. He talked about how Levon Williams will be at the center of the football.
Castellanos on 2nd down, hands it off again, right up the gut, and they pick up the first down. Gavin Sawchuck with a big hole up the middle, gets to the 35-yard line. An 11-yard gain for a first down.
Good running and good just offensive line play again, living on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
And a quick run there on the outside by Sawchuck. Gets near the sticks, about 2 yards shy. Levon Williams eventually brought him down. They're going fast here.
Seminoles saw what I saw last week. The Lions struggle versus tempo.
Castellanos gives it again. Another run up the middle. Another first down for Florida State by Sawchuck as he gets to midfield. Kobe Sebastian King brought him down. First down. into Lions territory at the 49. Castellanos with plenty of time all day. Now rolling to the right. He's going to tuck it and run. And out of bounds at the 45, a 4-yard gain by Castellanos. Caleb Miles chased him out. And the Noles moving with ease at the moment.
That's the challenge of facing Castellanos. You can take the first read away or even the second, but this offensive line is going to buy him time. And that way, he just put his athleticism on display there and picked up a gain of 5.
230 yards last week, as we mentioned, most against a ranked opponent since they did it against Clemson in 2012. Isaiah Holmes now checking in the backfield on second down. C.K. Williams brought him down, a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 2 upcoming as they go fast. 2 tight ends for Florida State. Castellanos, he's going to tuck it and run, and he gets stopped at the 40, a yard shy of the marker. 4th and 1 upcoming. Keelan Lamar with the tackle, and Florida State's offense is still on the field.
After putting up 230 yards on the ground last week, I'm not surprised. No hesitation. We're going for it.
And flags on the field.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty.
False start, Florida State. Adrian Medley.
Yeah, Adrian Medley is leaning on those toes a little too much, getting ready to drive out, and unfortunately, they got to back him back.
So Sawchuck gets back in there. It'll be 4th and 6, and the offense stays on the field. We have whistles.
Play, the runner was short of the line again is under further review.
And we're having some trouble with the lead official's microphone, and they will review here as we'll step in.
After further review, there was a foul for targeting defense number 6. That 15-yard penalty would be enforced from the end of the run. Number 6 has been disqualified from the game.
I got it. Yep, I got it. So the review was for targeting. It was on Kyrie Anderson. He was disqualified, and it's a 15-yard penalty and 1st down, an easy call here.
What a huge blow to this Lions defense. Kyrie Anderson, as a defender, you're fighting and you're defending every blade of grass, and he unfortunately came in and led with his helmet.
Castellanos fires and connects inside the 10 to Duce Robinson down to the 8-yard line. A 17-yard gain and 1st down for the Seminoles. Knocking at the door here. That's the first pass for Castellanos of the game after 7 rushes. They go back to the ground here. Chroma, the freshman. And when we talked to the coaches this week, Rod, they talked about how this kid is built for sure. But let's take a look at Duce, who's also a pretty big target.
Yeah, you can throw it anywhere for Duce Robinson, and he's going to come down with it. And Castellanos found him right over the middle.
Robinson, the USC transfer. Second and goal for Castellanos and company. He keeps, turns the corner, can't get into the end zone though. Just shy as Levon Williams chased him out of bounds. A 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and goal for Castellanos and the Seminoles.
The Seminole offense with Castellanos puts you in a very challenging situation if you're a defender versus that zone read. Are you going to defend it with your defensive end? Are you going to take a linebacker? Are you going to put an extra safety down? And oftentimes versus D-line or linebacker, he's faster. Yeah.
Chroma pushing his way in. They'll mark him just shy. Jaheim Lowe, who's in for Kyrie Anderson, who was disqualified, and Devontae Keys plugged up the hole there. 4th down for Florida State.
You see Florida State starting to bring in extra offensive linemen, guys that are going to be able to get that push up front for this yard that they need. They want to walk away with 7.
13th play of the drive.
Cat formation.
12 of them rushing. Chroma. And Chroma is stood up by Tremore Gilbert. And a flag on the play.
95 DOS. Offside. Defense number 98. Line up in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalty and 4th half of distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Patrick Brown Jr. and the Seminoles with some good fortune there.
A critical mistake by the defensive lineman took away a huge play for this Lions defense.
4th and goal. This time Sawchuck lowers the shoulder, powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Seminoles. Plays, 78 yards, 4:38 off the clock, 12 rushes, 1 pass for Mike Norvell's squad.
The Seminoles offense, when they need a yard or maybe even 2, they're going to rely on this interior front that they have, this offensive line. You saw it all game last week, and you're seeing it on this first drive, and that's the reason why they were able to punch it in right there on 4th and 1.
Weinberg for the extra point. Up and good. Florida State strikes first here at home against East Texas A&M. Pounded the rock.
At times you just keep it simple, and that's just enough for the Seminoles. Get your big men in there and celebrate.
Against the Lions of East Texas A&M. Jake Weinberg to kick it off. Randy Reese, the deep man for the Lions. The Lions had Florida State stopped, but a penalty gave Florida State one more chance to punch it in. And that one in the end zone, so the Lions will start at their own 25. Let's check in with Victoria.
The East Texas A&M, they're using helmet comms for just the 2nd time in a game, George. And last week at SMU, they said it was a challenge due to the loud environment. And this week, they were hoping to sort through those issues as they prepared for yet another loud and challenging environment. And it's definitely something to keep an eye on for.
Oh, there's no doubt, Victoria. Rod, if the helmet comms don't work in these FCS groups, again, they're using it for the first time. They've talked to us about keeping their signals intact for sure, their hand signals.
Signals are imperative, especially when you talk about the helmet comms, and you have to always have that in your back pocket.
KJ Schenkel, the new running back, alongside Eric Rodriguez. Rodriguez looks to the sideline, complete there at the 30 to Christian Jourdain. That's their top target. He picks up 5 on that one.
Christian Jourdain out there gave what it seemed to be a double move, but it was a triple move, and he still ran that short hitch route outside and was able to create some separation there with the defensive back.
So the ball just past the 30-yard line. So let's give it a 5.5, we'll call it. Second down. A run up the middle and hurdling a defender and picking up the first down is KJ Schenkel, the senior from Richmond, Texas, a transfer from Butler Community College, showing off his hops.
That was created by the guard, Chandler Donaway, coming around, creating some room inside, and then Schenkel there, you know, he's athletic as we see.
Coming back from injuries in the offseason, Schenkel, but no signs of that there. First down Lions, who moved the ball well last week against SMU, and as I mentioned earlier, really put themselves in a bind with turnovers. Rodriguez tucks it and runs, gets hit, but picks up a nice chunk of change there as he gets to the 46-yard line, a 5-yard gain, but whistles on the field. Ashland Parker with the tackle. So Eric Rodriguez is out, heads to the sideline. Will Madonna checks in, who was the starter last week. When we asked the coaching staff of the Lions why Will Madonna was pulled, the senior from Lakewood, California, said not enough urgency, but we're seeing Madonna here early in the first quarter.
Interesting call by the coordinator of the Lions to bring in Will Madonna. Let's see if they have a certain package planned for him today.
We have whistles on the field. Delay of game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So the switch of the quarterback costs the Lions, and that communication again struggling for them.
Yeah, penalties really brought, you know, the Lions trouble last week, and then you're seeing it right now. Miscommunication and not a sense of urgency from this offense.
2nd and 9.5, we'll call it. And Schenkel goes down by the turf monster on that one.
Very surprised that the call by the offensive staff for the Lions to take out Eric Rodriguez when he had some momentum going with him at quarterback. Now you put yourself in 3rd and long situation that works in the favor of the defense. You got to find a way out of this.
We're being told his helmet may have come off. I didn't see it personally. Rodriguez is back, though, on 3rd and 10. They got to get to the 49 of the Seminoles. They hand it off to Schenkel, and not much there as Schenkel gets taken down by DeAndre McCray. A 2-yard gain, and the Seminoles will hold.
Good defense by the Seminoles, just doing their job. From the Lions, you kind of let them off the hook there by running the ball. I expected them to put the ball in Rodriguez's hands and let him dissect what he sees to help his team pick up a first down.
Meehan to punt. Squirrel White awaiting the punt at his own 20. A line drive punt. White fields it inside his 20. And a fair catch. 38-yard punt, no return. Florida State up 7 and looking for more here at home. So Tommy Castellanos and company, the ball on their own 18-yard line. Castellanos to the air, pressure in his face, launches one down the field, hits Duce Robinson in stride. He's gonna go! Touchdown! 82 yards! A dime from Castellanos to Robinson gives the the Seminoles a 13-point lead.
That's the effect of a good running team putting pressure on the defense. You're going to see they're playing with a short post. And so they line up in a formation that looks like run. He gives a nice run play action, and then it's over the top to Duce Robinson. But you see, you're a short post, you can't cover. And it's off to the races, young man. Duce Robinson getting that end zone. 6 on the board for Florida State.
An 82-yard touchdown from Tommy Castellanos. Already has 99 receiving yards, which is a career high. Coach Norvell told us, when I asked him, hey, you know, he's big like Johnny Wilson. He said, well, he's actually not just like Johnny. He's a mix between Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman because of how fluid a route runner he is, and we saw that on display there, Rod.
Yeah, Castellanos is getting very familiar with Duce Robinson, and you see what benefit that does for a quarterback like Castellanos. Having a 6'6" frame wide receiver, he's going to be a difference maker when you're talking about throwing the long ball, these 9 routes, these post routes that you see, and winning the one-on-one matchup. That is going to be a huge effect for that offense if they get going.
4 wide receivers for the Lions, who are in deep trouble here as they begin this drive on their 25. They give it to Oakman up the middle, plugged up pretty quickly there by the Noles. 1-yard gain.
Yeah, this defensive front, I love their hustle. There are a lot of guys on this defensive front that have the right mentality when it comes to being a defensive lineman. They're just rugged.
They look like the Florida State Seminoles, that's for sure. There was a lot of chatter about the way things went last season. Rodriguez on the keep, and he has enough for the first down. He picks up 11 on the play. Edwin Joseph on the tackle, but a flag back near the 20.
Holding, offense number 51, 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's Billy Thursland, the center.
Billy Thursland has his hands full, and that's the difficult part of being an offensive lineman. You don't necessarily know where your quarterback is, and there's Rodriguez escaping out the right side, and this defensive line is not going to give up. They're a high motor crew, so they're going to have to block for a long time today if they want to stop the Seminoles defensive front.
2nd and 19. Fumble, and Rodriguez pounces on it. Again, more issues for the Lions. This time the exchange between Thursland and Rodriguez after Thursland had the penalty. 3rd and 21 for the Lions. And you know the Noles are just going to pin their ear back here.
Yeah, there's not too many calls in the playbook. If you're the Lions offense, that's going to save you from 3rd and 20. Expect a handoff, screen. Just don't do anything to put the ball in harm's way.
Quick toss, almost intercepted. A dangerous pass there. Earl Little Jr. had a beat on it.
Earl Little, there he is. He's always at the ball, and there he was, his flat foot read. He saw the QB's mechanics, it gave quick game, he read it, he went, and he almost came up with an interception.
Lions forced to punt. The Noles defense doing their job. Ben Meehan in the shadows of his end zone to punt it. Squirrel White to receive at the moment, awaiting at his own 45. And White retreating, will field it inside the 45, makes a man miss. Flag on the play, down the sideline, lowers the shoulder, and still going inside the 20, down near the 15. But I mentioned earlier, flag on the play near midfield, and another at the 35-yard line as well. 42-yard return, but we'll see what the laundry's about. The officials still having a conversation.
The fouls by both teams. During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team. Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, kicking team. Those fouls offset. Fourth down.
So Shaheem Brown for the Seminoles. And then Jai Trainwick for the Lions. They are re-kicking.
And the tough part about re-kicking, if you're the Lions special teams, is you just gave everything you had to get down that field to stop Squirrel, and now you got to do it all over again.
Florida State has gotten pretty close to the punter a number of times here.
And this will give them another stab at it.
Yeah, special teams was not something that Coach Mike Norvell was pleased about last week. You know, because coaches always got to find something, Rod.
Yes.
Despite having as huge a win as they did, you got to find something. I don't blame them. I get it.
There's three parts to the game.
No doubt.
Offense, defense, special teams. And we've seen a lot of times special teams will win you a football game, and so you have to address it.
So the ball is now back on the field. That's what we were waiting for. Everybody was ready, except there was no ball. So Squirrel White again awaiting at the 45 after the offsetting penalties. And you see Meehan a little further back in the end zone this time because of how close Florida State has gotten. High snap. This time he gets it off cleanly. But it's going to bounce short, and it'll take a Lions bounce into Florida State territory at around the 47-yard line. So that's where Florida State will take over. Tonight after our primetime game, Vandy and Virginia Tech, the ACC Huddle Final Score crew will wrap up the whole day with highlights, analysis, interviews with players and coaches. They'll have you covered all the way around. Right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. George Sedano, Rodney McLeod, Super Bowl champion with the Eagles, Virginia Cavalier. Victoria Arlen with you here in Tallahassee today. Two tight end set for the Noles. Gavin Sawchuck in the backfield with Castellanos. Castellanos, a quick toss to White. And White pushes forward near the 45-yard line of the Lions. Javon Gillespie brought him down. Second down, going quick here are the Seminoles. There you see the numbers last week. They hand it off. Back on the ground will be a yard shy of the first down. Gavin Sawchuck gets that carry. Third down upcoming, 3rd and 1.
The Lions defense need to put a lot of people on that line of scrimmage. Put 5 down because the run's coming.
So Anthony Gray lost his helmet. They hand it off again and have enough for the first down. They get a 2-yard gain by Gavin Sawchuck. Florida State moving fast. All on the 42, play action for Castellanos, plenty of time. Wants it all! Robinson again, this time holds it in, but a flag on the play. Gillespie in coverage. We'll see if the touchdown stands. A one-handed stab.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. The penalties decline. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Duce Robinson having a day. 42 yards. He's got 141 in the first quarter alone. Extra point is up and good by Weinberg, and the Castellanos to Robinson connection is a real thing today.
It's looking really good. Duce Robinson putting on the clinic. Just go by him. And guess what? Throw it up, and the big man is going to come down with it. I mean, look at the catch. 141 yards to start this game. He's putting this ACC conference in the league on notice. And there he is in the camera. That's 2. That's 2.
2 touchdowns for the USC transfer.
But George, that's what I was talking about earlier. I mean, they found something with Duce Robinson. You want to play man-to-man coverage, and you think you're in good position as that defensive back, as Gillespie was there. But Duce Robinson is just 6'6". That's hard to defend. I don't care who you are.
Duce's father, Dominic, fullback here at FSU. Played basketball at USC as well. Duce did. That might be an SC top 10 today. There was some hand fighting, and Duce came up with it. This one again sails through the end zone, and Florida State dominating here in the first quarter. The Lions will head out to the field and start their drive at their own 25-yard line. What have you seen from the Florida State defense, though, Rod, that has been as impressive as you've seen thus far?
It starts up front. Florida State is built to win in the trenches. Their offensive line, their defensive line. Defensive line is going to put a lot of pressure, and has put a lot of pressure on this Lions offense. Stopping the run and then affecting the pass when needed. And again, they hustle. They're high motor guys, and it's tough to defend.
1st and 10, play action. Rodriguez with time. Floats one. Easy interception by Earl Little Jr. And he's on the move. Looking to tack on some more. He's got a lane. Weaving through traffic and taken down at the 15-yard line. Florida State routing the Lions at the moment. Touchdown-saving tackle by Romello Watson.
Earl Little Jr. in the center of that defense, just doing his job, reading the eyes of the quarterback. It looks like you got a man by himself, and then Earl is there to save the day and come up big and put his offense in position. I like this young man. He's a baller.
Pops was an 8-year NFL veteran, highly recruited, American heritage. High school in Plantation, Florida. Pat Surtain, the DB's coach, former NFL player himself. His coach here was his head coach in high school, too. Castellanos, end zone, incomplete. Too high for Amari Williams, the tight end. the sophomore from Palm Beach, Florida. Caleb Miles in coverage for the Lions.
Good coverage by Caleb Miles. Finding the ball. A lot of defenders, when they're in that position, they try to just run. And then they find themselves, unfortunately, making illegal contact.
2nd and 10.
So he found it.
Castellanos taken down. Slips there, but was trying to avoid a tackler. He gets sacked. Jamar Gilbert on the sack there. A loss on the play for Florida State. 3rd down and 15 for the Noles.
See if the Lions can hold this Seminoles offense to a field goal. That'll be a win for this defense.
Castellanos fires over the middle. Again to Robinson. He stretches to the end zone, but will be just shy down to the 1. But it has been the Duce Robinson show. 1st down, and the Noles moving quickly to punch it in. They hand it off up the middle. The Lions this time there, and the loss of 1 on the play for Keziah Holmes.
Lions defense may need to start giving some love over there to whoever is covering Duce Robinson, because he's just open all day right now.
Duce Robinson, 160 receiving yards, most in the 1st quarter by an FSU receiver since 2015.
Impressive.
3 tight end set for the Noles. The pitch to Holmes. And stood up at the 1. Tackle made by Levon Williams and Oran Kupu.
That's one thing the Lions did last week, is that they fought and they battled. There's no quit in this team.
And that'll do it for the 1st quarter. They'll switch sides.
That is the end of the 1st quarter.
Sawchuck in the backfield with Castellanos.
Sawchuck moves to the center position.
Gets the wildcat, fakes the toss, goes in the end zone, walks in for the touchdown. A trick play by the Noles, and they capitalize. 27-0 Florida State. Second wildcat snap today by the Noles. Extra point by Weinberg. That one's up and in, and it's 28-0 as we just started the 2nd quarter.
It's a well-designed play by Gus Malzahn here, catching the defense by surprise, putting Sawchuck in the position, getting extra offensive players over there to seal that inside and that edge, and Sawchuck has found the 2 yards for an easy touchdown.
Well, and the interesting part there, I thought, was not only faking the toss, but faking the jet sweep to Squirrel White as well. Just an incredible design by Gus Malzahn. Look, that's Gus Malzahn, right? He's going to do stuff that, you know, has been revolutionary in this sport over many, many years.
Yes, and again, that's a lot of eye candy going on in Gus Malzahn's offense. You know, you see one thing and then you see another. And it keeps you on your toes as a defense. But what I love most about him is that a lot of his runs set up the pass. And so, again, everything looks identical, but then there's a slight difference.
Gus Malzahn gave Mike Norvell his start. And those two, a 20-year relationship, back together here at Florida State, looking to do big things. And that one sails through the end zone. I mentioned the relationship between these two. Gus Malzahn.
This Florida Seminoles team.
28-0 Florida State, dominating thus far. Schenkel on the right side, spinning out of trouble, picks up about 8 yards on that one. Ashlyn Barker brought him down. It'll be 2nd and 2 for the Lions. Rodriguez tried to set up the screen there, but Florida State took care of that. So Rodriguez will try to tuck it and run and take it down. Shy of the marker. Florida State's defense read that thing the whole way, Rod. Third down coming out for the Lions.
Things that can't happen if you're the Lions offense. There's a miscue. Quarterback trying to throw the screen play, but there's nobody to throw the screen to. And the result is defense comes up with a win. And they put themselves to get off the field on this third and short situation.
Third and about 2. Seminoles showing blitz. Here they come off the corner. And they stuff it! A loss on the play. KJ Sampson, first on the scene. The redshirt sophomore from North Carolina.
KJ Sampson, first off the ball, a good swipe, and he's in the backfield for a loss. I mean, this defensive front is built for the run. They got good pass rushers. They're coming up big today.
Sampson, a 2024 academic All-ACC player, 10 tackles last year in 11 games played. He's a big, big young man, 6'3", 318 pounds, the redshirt sophomore. And showing off his wheels out there, taking care of business on the defensive end.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So they'll back up the Lions 5 more yards. Ben Meehan, the true freshman from Pennsylvania. Punting here for the Lions. Squirrel White awaiting the punt just inside his own 40. High snap. Meehan boots it. White will let it bounce. And it goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Florida State's offense has looked fantastic. It's been the Duce Robinson show thus far. Rod, what in particular, though, are you most impressed by Duce?
I'm most impressed by Duce Robinson's ability to win, again, the one-on-one matchup. As a wide receiver, especially when you're a part of this offense of the Seminoles, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And he's showing and developing trust with Castellanos that, hey, look, when times get hard, I'm your guy. One-on-one coverage, I'm your man.
He's got 2 touchdowns, 160 yards already. He did that in 1 quarter. Play action for Castellanos all day. Takes another deep shot. Squirrel White this time. Can't get it. Good defense there. Just a little underthrown by Castellanos, but Levon Williams got a hand on it.
A little underthrown by Castellanos. He wants to lead Squirrel because he split both defenders and had a couple steps on him. He leads them. That's another touchdown.
Castellanos, 5 of 7, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to Robinson, as we mentioned. 2nd and 10. Chroma in the backfield with him. Castellanos, pressure coming backside, fires to the sideline, incomplete, just beyond the outstretched arms of Duce Robinson. 3rd and 10 for the Seminoles. What do you want to see here from Gus Malzahn and company?
Yeah, 3rd and 10 situation here for Gus Malzahn. You're in complete control of the passing attack. If they give you Duce Robinson one-on-one, go for it.
Sawchuck in the backfield now, and movement up front on the left side of the line.
False start. Offense number 55. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Gunnar Hansen. So Florida State moving back 5 more yards.
A different mindset now. You know, you can see a plethora of things. First, you have some dynamic skill positions that can do a lot of run after catchability, or you could see a deep crosser from Duce Robinson.
And a wide receiver screen here to Robinson. Breaking tackle, spinning out of trouble, gets near the marker. He'll be about 2 yards shy to the 47-yard line. Robinson adding to his totals, so it'll be 4th and manageable coming up.
Just what I expected. Get the ball in your playmakers' hands and let them try to do the rest.
Looks like he lost the ball, but Florida State recovered there. Luke Pettibone, right place, right time, the Wake Forest transfer. So they're going here on 4th down.
Look for Castellanos to have a run-pass option. Get him on the perimeter. Either use your legs or find somebody quick in the flat.
4th and 2. Castellanos dumps it off to Sawchuck. Plenty of room to run down the sideline. Gets in the end zone for a touchdown. 53 yards. And the run continues in Tallahassee. A key block there by the freshman Javen Boggs from Cocoa High School to free him up. Jake Weinberg, the extra point. $35-0. Total domination.
And a lot of offenses. You see Castellanos on the center. Roll, boot action, finds the running back in the flat. Gets some nice blocking on the outside. And it's another touchdown.
For the investigation into the shooting, we are all keeping Ethan and his family in our thoughts and prayers.
Victoria, certainly tragedy, as you mentioned. And Ethan's father, Earl, honored here at the stadium today. Coach Norvell stopped meetings short this week, Rod, to make sure that folks could go see him, including himself, multiple times this week. I think that just goes to show you what this young man means to this group.
That's the right thing to do. When you talk about family, these are the times where that is evident. And shout out to the entire team for surrounding their brother and his family right now.
And of course, we're all praying for a speedy recovery for Ethan Pritchard. Rodriguez with the run.
First down.
Has enough, perhaps, for the first down. We'll see. Just shy, it looks like. And helmet's off, so Will Madonna will have to check back in. That's the second time Rodriguez has lost his helmet. Second and 1 for the Lions with Madonna, who hands it off here to McMillan. And McMillan tries to stretch it. Now, McMillan is their big, powerful back. Kind of surprised that that play was called. You'd think maybe something going north and south.
Yes, but this defensive front is tough to run against. They do a real good job at locking out their arms, controlling the blocks in front of them, and then being able to, when it's time to get off the block and make a tackle.
Big Darrell Jackson was there to create havoc. 3rd and 2 for the Lions. McMillan spins out of trouble, picks up the first down, and gets down to the 39-yard line.
You said big fella with McMillan, but he looked real nimble with that spin move. That was nice.
McMillan, 5'10", 227, from Mobile, Alabama, a senior. Transfer from Butler Community College. Low snap from Madonna. Tosses it to Jourdain. Nice snag there by him. A short gain. about 5 yards. Jerry Wilson in coverage for the Noles.
That's one thing they bragged about with Jordan was his hands. You saw right there. Tough grab.
Madonna, pressure coming. Lost one to the sideline. Airmails that one, intended for Tyler Daniels. Incomplete. Flag on the play. 2 flags, actually. Back at the 35 and 33.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Jason Jenkins, the redshirt junior. Transfer from Tennessee. We have an injured player on the field for the Noles. That's James Williams, the redshirt junior, Nebraska transfer, back on his feet and walking off on his own power, so a good sign there.
Give me a second to put my arms down. Stop scoring.
Coach Mike Norvell immediately out there to check on his player. It is a first down after the penalty. For the Lions, they had 1 first down on their first 5 drives. This drive, they have 2. They are sticking with Will Madonna at quarterback. Play action, Madonna fires towards the sideline, complete to Proctor at the 29-yard line. Another first down for the Lions. 13-yard gain.
Good timing throw by Will. As soon as he hits that back foot, he's letting it go on the outside to his receiver. And it's very imperative that he does that, especially versus defensive line.
First and 10 from the 29 of the Noles. Madonna again, this time picked off. Jerry Wilson read that the whole way. The Lions were driving, and the Seminoles said, that's enough. Christian Jourdain was the target.
There was some confusion going on as Will and Jordan walked off that field, but it don't matter. Darren Wilson there to capitalize on it. He's reading the QB's eyes, and he goes, no hesitation.
Robinson, 5 catches, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns.
The Lions defense came in thinking they were just going to stop the run. But right now, stop Duce.
Chroma finds a hole on the right side, gets the first down as he gets to the 42-yard line. They pick up a 14. The true freshman Chroma from Leesburg, Georgia. Florida State continues to move here. A quick toss to the left side to Mekhi Danzy. Wrapped up quickly after a 4-yard gain. Danzy, he's a speedster, the record holder in the ACC in the 400-meter.
Really nice run last week by Danzy, putting his impact on the game.
Had 2 good runs, one of them for the TD for sure. 2nd and 6. Another run here by Florida State. Chroma again. Tackle made by Jaheim Lowe. Short gain. 3rd down coming up. What are we looking for here by the Noles, Rod?
Something quick. Again, the Lions have been given a lot of one-on-one matchups. They haven't really sat in zone. It looks like they're probably going to come with some sort of pressure. So expect a one-on-one throw outside.
And they flip it around to Danzy. We're going to see that speed burst through the hole, down the sidelines. See you later. Touchdown, Florida State. 53 yards. We tried to tell you he's got record-setting speed.
We did try to say it. We spoke that into existence, George. They heard us up here. They said it's time to get Danzy the football, and he's dangerous once he gets it in his hands.
Florida State, long TD plays today. 1 of 82, 2 of 53, and 1 of 42. The explosives have been on display here in Tallahassee.
Danzy's becoming this reverse specialist for this Seminoles offense. And honestly, they just tell him just to run because the blocking down this field clears the lane. Offensive linemen downfield blocking. And you just do what you do best, Danzy. Just run. Run, Forrest, run.
That is what he does best. I mean, maybe there are some things he does better, but man, if he does anything better than run, that goes to show you how talented that dude is. The route is on here in Tallahassee. Jake Weinberg set to kick it off. Randy Reese to return it. This Florida State team just has a different feel. I understand the competition's different, but let's not forget they just had a monster victory in week 1 here at home against an Alabama team that many had not only in the college football playoff, but potentially as a national champion down the road. And this Florida State team, you talk about a will and determination this offseason. Mike Norvell made plenty of changes, including to how he adjusted his training camp schedule to give guys more rest, knowing they'd have Alabama. When we talked to DC Tony White, who just got here, he said there was so much chatter and so much noise about the 2-10 season last year. After the disappointing season in 2023, at least the ending, it was a great season until the way it ended. And Tony White told us, look, we were talking about 2-10, and competitors want to rise up. Those that didn't want to rise up, they're gone. So this is a different group here. Will Madonna back at quarterback. They hand it off to Oakman on the right side, trying to turn the corner. He does, picks up the first down, and out of bounds just past the 35-yard line. Stephon Thompson ran him out. Player down for the Lions.
Timeout on the field for a defensive injury, offensive injury.
Billy Thursland, the center, as they tend to him. Thursland, the senior from Houston, Texas. And Thursland back on his feet. Women's sports takes over the afternoon every Sunday right here on ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app this week. We start at noon Eastern with the top field hockey matchup on the schedule. Number 1 ranked Northwestern squares off against number 8 Boston College. Then at 1:30 Eastern, 3rd ranked Duke hosts Alabama in soccer. Should be a great afternoon. The ACC dominant certainly in those sports. Trent Savage now at center, and we've already seen some exchange issues thus far with the Lions. So now with a new center, the sophomore from Kingwood, Texas. We'll see what happens here with the Lions. Madonna sets up the screen, incomplete, intended for Randy Reese. Blake Nicholson right there.
Lions offense trying to incorporate some screen plays in there because this isn't an attack style of defense. The defensive linemen are getting up the field, and so you want to just try to split the field, give them something, misdirection, look one way, go the other, to combat, that attack style defense. There they came up short.
2nd and 10. A little past the midway point here in the second quarter. Oakman, nowhere to go. A loss on the play. Nicholson there again.
Tony White decided to send some pressure. I talked about it at the top of the broadcast, how you'll see a different flavor of pressures that come from Tony White's defense, and there it came from the linebacker, or actually their safety position, Ashlyn Barker.
4 receivers now for the Lions on 3rd and 11. Madonna wide of the mark, intended for Proctor. 4th down, the Noles hold. Donnie Hebert, the former walk-on who just got his scholarship this season, in coverage.
Donnie Hebert, great story, but right there he took a page out of Earl Little's book. He was there, he understood the down and distance, had his feet set, ready to break on the quarterback when he threw it, and there he is, making a nice clean pass breakup.
Noles coming after this one. The Lions get it away. White fields it. And he's wrapped up shy of the 35. And a flag on the play. White's helmet comes off. Couple of flags back near the 27 and the 22. You see Squirrel White reaching for his left hand. Training staff checking him out.
Illegal numbering, receiving team, 2 players wearing number 4. That penalties decline. 1st down, Florida State.
So the 2 players wearing number 4 were Squirrel White and Charles Lester for Florida State. That obviously against the rules.
George, that's actually happened to me in college before.
Really? When you were at Virginia?
I was at Virginia. I was the guy that unfortunately had to get the jersey stripped away from me mid-game, and they kept the senior jersey on. Shout out to Kerry Cope.
And we've seen Mekhi Danzy, the track speed, there you see, 44.38 on the 400, blew the competition away.
Wow.
And he did that earlier today, too, on that score, on that reverse. Kevin Sperry in now at quarterback for the Noles, the freshman. He hands it off to Lucas. Jalen Lucas gets his first carry of the game to the 39-yard line. So Squirrel White in the tent at the moment, a 4-yard gain. Sperry, the freshman from Denton, Texas. His father, Kevin, was a linebacker at Washington State. Mike Norvell told us a very skilled passer, good with his legs, so you'll see some mobility out there as well. He's the first quarterback off the bench. 2nd and 6 for the Noles. Hand off to Chroma. No, check that, Jalen Lucas, pardon me. And he gets to the 42. Jaheim Lowe with the tackle, a 3-yard gain. So 3rd down and short coming up.
Aaron Jalen Lucas named for the first time today, these past couple plays. He showed up big last week for this team. And that's the scary part about this offense. You never know whose day is going to be.
Seminoles have 42 points at the moment, 2nd most in the first half since 2015. They had 56 back in 2017 against Delaware State. Handoff again this time. Gets near the marker. Yep, picks up the 1st down. It's Jalen Lucas, the redshirt junior, Indiana transfer. Florida State's offense, again, we started the broadcast this way. What a difference a year makes, Rod.
Absolutely. They came in with the right mindset, and under Gus Malzahn, everything's going the way that they wish.
Chroma in the backfield. Gets it this time. Following a block. Breaks some tackles. Bolting to the outside and picks up the 1st down. Jalen Lucas actually on the run there again.
Jalen Lucas is hard to see back there. He's 5'9", and he does a real good job at staying right behind his offensive line and bursting when he needs to. to pick up another first down for the Seminoles offense.
Last week, the Seminoles had all their offensive linemen play the entire game. And this week, we finally got a substitution. A quick toss to Lucas to the outside and out of bounds. Picks up a nice chunk of change. So Jacob Rizzi checks in for the first time, number 64. And I would imagine at 42-0, when we talked to Gus Malzahn, I said, you know, what's the plan with them this week? He's like, well, we're going to keep those starters in as long as we have to. I would imagine at 42-0, you felt it was okay to bring someone else in.
Give him a breather for a second.
Cam Davis is the back. Sperry fakes the handoff. Got all day. Wants it all. Too far for Javen Boggs, the freshman. Dylan Scott in coverage. Third down upcoming.
Good coverage on that play. Just stride for stride with the runner. At least the quarterback put it in a difficult place.
There's the starting offensive line. Last week, their snap counts.
Credit to this offensive line's conditioning. It's hard in this Florida Heat to play every snap. Davis stays on his feet. Barreling forward, picks up the first down and then some as he gets to the 26-yard line. A 10-yard gain. Davis, the sophomore from Albany, Georgia. Cam Davis is not allowing his feet to stop on contact. Continue to move him, drive him. There he was able to pick up a few additional yards.
Approaching the 2-minute timeout. Sperry. And that'll be the 2-minute timeout. Florida State.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Threatening again. Leading 42-0 here against the Lions. And still looking to tack on a few more. 2-0 at the moment and looking for more. Sperry, the new quarterback, tucks it and runs. As he's in relief for Castellanos. Picks up a nice gain there of 5.
Smart play by the freshman. They had Lions did a good job at taking away the receivers down the field. Don't do anything to hurt your team. Pick up some yards with your legs.
Second and 5 for Sperry. Again, will run it. Goes through the hole. Dives forward inside the 5. Florida State just putting on a clinic. 413 yards, total yards today. Most in the first half for any team in the nation.
Gus Malzahn called his number there. You can see the running back lead right up through the middle, giving him an extra blocker on that second level. He picked up a big game because of it.
Florida State with more yards in this first half than any team in the nation this year. My goodness. Sperry under center. Fakes the reverse, throws it to the end zone. Wide open, Boggs for a touchdown. An easy pitch and catch. 3-yard score.
That's 2 times now that the Florida State offense has lined up under center, and both have resulted in touchdowns. Same play, roll boot action, get your running back in the flat and the receiver in the back end zone, and there it is, Kevin Sperry found him.
Congratulations to Kevin Sperry. You've thrown your first career touchdown pass. The Noles have scored TDs on all 7 drives today, and the freshman from Denton, Texas, got to get that ball, young fella.
Freshman does a good job. They take away my throw in the flat, but they didn't stop my guy in the back end zone. Javon Boggs, touchdown.
Now, Boggs also getting his first career touchdown. What do you do with the ball there?
I don't know. Hey, whoever's the more selfless individual. Or you can do one of those where, hey, it's at my house for half of the season, and it's at your house for that other half.
Split it in half, we're being told here in the booth. I don't know if you can do that. But nonetheless, just honestly, it's really cool to be here and to see this team rolling the way they are. The big win last week, just complete domination against an FCS opponent today. College football is better when the likes of Florida State are good.
Absolutely. You know, growing up as a kid, I remember a lot of epic battles that had Florida State fingerprints all over it. Great environment, great football culture and football town. And it's good to see these Seminoles responding in the right way. Coach Mike Norvell, he talked about that. How do you respond, not only in adverse moments, but when you're successful? And he's got his answer here today so far.
Tony White, the DC, I told you guys earlier, we had such a great conversation with him. I asked him why Florida State, and he said the #1 reason, Mike Norvell, his quote was, he's got the formula. You look at the way things had progressed through 2023. Last year was a hiccup. Things went sideways, but nonetheless, it didn't matter. He felt confident in this group. He said he grew up in the 90s here in Florida, grew up in Key West. His wife's from Tampa, and he says it's meant to be, man. Florida State is one of those places you want it to be at.
Legal substitution, offense, 12 players in the huddle, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So the Lions going backwards there, but White said a true calling for him. It was meant to be to return to the state of Florida and to be part of this program that he admired from afar for so long.
Tony White's that culture shifter. Every place he's been, they're successful.
Top 25 defenses the last 4 years at Syracuse and Nebraska. Handoff here. Nothing doing. Schenkel goes nowhere. Mandrell Desir, the freshman from Miami, Florida, Norland High School. 6'4", 262 pounds. Him and his twin brother, Daryl Desir, on this team. Both defensive ends, 93 and 90. Rodriguez is back in the game for the Lions. Would you have liked to have played with your twin brother if you had a twin?
I would love that.
I mean, I'm sure you could have pulled off a lot of shenanigans too growing up if you're twins. That's true too.
Oh, switcheroo.
If you're identical, yes, no, certainly. Another run here, and Desir again, plugging up the hole on Schenkel. And that'll do it for the first half. 173 yards receiving today. And the kickoff, Florida State will return it. Jalen Lucas. And met with resistance at around the 25-yard line. So that's where Florida State will begin their drive after a 23-yard return, leading by 7 touchdowns. Let's check in with Victoria.
I got a couple injury updates for you guys on the Florida State side. We got #4 Squirrel White getting further evaluated on his arm at halftime. Coach said that we're going to make a decision after that. And while on the Lions side, number 51 Billy Thursland getting further evaluated for his right knee. George.
Thank you, Victoria. Squirrel White, obviously an important player for the Florida State Seminoles. Kevin Sperry returns at quarterback after relieving Tommy Castellanos late in the first half. Quick toss here, right at the sticks to Danzy. First down for Danzy. Seminoles this season, 5 different players already have scored a touchdown, and you see Sawchuck, the leader among them. So first down for the Noles. Handoff here. Chroma weaving through traffic, gets to the sideline and picks up the first down. 20-yard gain.
Again, Gus Malzahn, the design of this play is very clever. You take Danzy, who grabs your attention as a defender. You bring him back in motion into the flat. You got half of the defense going with him, but nobody goes with Chroma.
Sperry will keep and stood up just behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle there made by C.K. Williams. 1 yard loss on the play. Anthony Gray loses his helmet for the Lions, so he's out of the game. Brock Glenn now in at quarterback for the Noles. And he keeps breaking tackles, saying, hey man, I can run too. Picks up about 8 on that one.
It doesn't matter who's at quarterback when you have the offensive line like the Seminoles do. They're going to make sure that they get good blocks and they drive their men forward. And Glenn's able to capitalize because of it.
Glenn last year threw for just under 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. All new offensive line for the Seminoles. Davis stood up just past the line of scrimmage. Good enough, though, for the first down. So we're going to see a lot of new players here in this second half for Florida State. Meaningful playing time for sure for these young players. Glenn under pressure dumps it off to Williams, the tight end. He's still on his feet, breaking tackles, dives to the end zone for a touchdown. 38-yard rumble for Amari Williams. $55-0, Florida State. Amari Williams, the sophomore from Palm Beach, Benjamin High School. His first touchdown of the season. The extra point by Weinberg is up and good. Splits the uprights. 56-0. 5 touchdown passes by 3 different QBs for Florida State.
Look at the attention that Danzy grabs from this Lions defense, leaving Amari Williams all by himself backside with the bodies of this offensive line to will him into the end zone. Look at them go.
Opinion than Miami and Florida State meeting in early October with something on the line, and I think we are on a collision course for that this season.
Could be an early preview to the ACC championship, in my opinion, as you look at these two teams, and they both found their guys at quarterback. It seems like Carson Beck, Castellanos, 2 newcomers, but they've given both of these fan bases a lot of confidence by the way they perform.
Both experienced, too. They've been through some stuff. I mean, Beck, you know, you mentioned that he came through the injury this past season, was on the bench to win some championships at Georgia, was part of that team, had a great year a couple of years ago. Last year ended poorly for him, got hurt, has bounced back. And you see Castellanos, similar, right? Gets benched at Boston College, comes here to some familiar faces in Malzahn, his offensive coordinator, who recruited him originally at UCF. And he then transfers to Boston College because he wants some playing time. Malzahn told us Noles leading 56-0. George Sedano, Rodney McLeod, Victoria Arlen with you here. We were talking earlier about Thomas Castellanos and transferring here, because we were talking about Miami and Florida State getting top 10 wins in the same week since first time since November of 2000. And Rod, you mentioned Beck and his trials and tribulations. Same with Castellanos. Originally with Gus Malzahn at UCF, transfers to Boston College. The Malzahn told us they had a great conversation back then about wanting playing time and wanting to play where he would get that with Jeff Hafley at Boston College. Then things change. Hafley's out, Bill O'Brien is in, and it just didn't seem to work between the two. Castellanos gets benched. He then goes in the portal and ends up here at Florida State. And those kind of situations, whether it's Beck and certainly Castellanos, as we've talked about, that changes you. That makes you more mature. It makes you grow up faster.
Absolutely. When you're faced with adversity, it shows the testament of character. And these two young men have responded in the right way. They've embraced the change, embraced growth, and they're getting rewarded because of it in these first weeks of the season.
3rd and 8 here, and Rodriguez back in there. He is shy of the marker, so Florida State holds. 4-yard gain, 6 punt for the Lions. Jalen Lucas back there to receive the punt.
And quite frankly, there's nothing dangerous than a man with his chip on his shoulder, with something to prove. And you spoke about the journey. Castellanos and Carson Beck, they have a lot to prove this year, and they're playing like it in this early part of the season.
Lucas towards the sideline, tiptoeing and hit out of bounds, but in Lions territory. Good field position. And he said you could see the passion to want to come here to Florida State and be a difference maker. And he's pouring into his teammates. And we've seen that today. Kevin Sperry back at quarterback as they hand it off to Samuel Singleton Jr. on the right side. 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6 upcoming. But there's a lot of love here between Castellanos, Norvell, and Malzahn, Rod.
There is plenty, and it all started from, again, just history with one another, understanding each other's backgrounds, and that really attracted Castellanos and as well as Coach Norvell and Gus to bring them in.
Short run there by Singleton. Miles with the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 5 upcoming. And because they've recruited him and they have history with him, they know what he's capable of. And this is not a knock on Boston College or whatnot. They made a business decision, and Castellanos made his. And for now, it's worked out certainly well for Castellanos. We'll see on Boston College. Sperry floats one, caught, Chroma, touchdown! Yards.
On for the extra point.
6 of the 9 touchdowns today for Florida State have been over 38 yards. Weinberg, the extra point up and good. 63-0, Rob.
Another misdirection play by the Seminoles. It really tests your eye discipline as a defender. And they just lost Chroma in the flat. He did a wheel route. And Sperry found him in the end zone. And there's 6. Gus Malzahn, his playbook is dense. He's really given us a lot. And honestly, he's given these defenses that are coming up that are going to play the Seminoles this upcoming year a lot to look at. And again, it goes back to, are you a disciplined defense? Are you going to be, can you trust your eyes? And can you trust your teammates that everybody's going to be in the right spot? And they apply a lot of pressure on you. And you saw it right there again.
And they come at you in waves, and we've seen that too. Tonight, after our primetime game, Vandy and Virginia Tech, the ACC Huddle Final Score crew will wrap up the whole day. Highlights, analysis, interviews with players and coaches. They'll have you covered right here on ACCN and the all-new ESPN app. The first career touchdown for Usman Chroma, 6'1", 218-pound freshman from Leesburg, Georgia. And the coaches, we talked about it briefly earlier, Rod. Man, they were raving about him, and because we were marveling at just his size as a true freshman.
Chroma comes in and he doesn't miss a beat. Today, they've given him a lot of opportunities to showcase what he can do, and he's taking full advantage of it today. Whether it's in the backfield or catching the football, he's showing that he is even though he's a true freshman, you can trust him.
No spring for Chroma, and Gus Malzahn gushing about him, saying he's only scratching the surface at this point. He says the most physical freshman he's ever had.
That says a lot about just his work ethic prior to stepping foot on grounds. You know, he knew what he was signing up for. He understands the culture. He understands the mission.
Tailback is tripped up there. Jordan Hamilton, no gain. So if you're the Lions, I mean, this has been a thorough butt whooping at this point. So I think you're just trying to get anything positive if you're them. Rodriguez dumps it down. And a big stick there beyond the 30. As Hamilton about 4 yards shy of the first down. KJ Kirkland with the stick. Third down. Helmet came off there for Hamilton. KJ Schenkel in now at tailback on 3rd and 4. Rodriguez fires, got his man, complete into Florida State territory for a first down. That's Dan Bilbo. Dion Bilbo with the first down.
Seminoles defense were playing a version of cover 3, and Eric Rodriguez just finds Bilbo in that soft part of that zone, attacking the seams.
Rodriguez in trouble and is taken down. Sack made by A.J. Cottrell, another former walk-on.
Tony White dials up the defense coming on the right side of your screen. A.J. does a real good job at just trimming the fat, what we like to call it, and make no mistake about it, it's hard to bring a quarterback down. So I love the fact that he came under control and made the sack.
And by the way, Amari Williams on the other side, not only a tight end who's already caught a touchdown, plays both ways, plays defense too. He was right there.
Whatever it takes mentality.
Rodriguez in trouble, gets out of it for the moment, throws down the field and completes it to Tanner Harrison. Picks up positive yardage, but a flag on the play.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 71, 15-yard penalty, second down.
That's Trent Savage, and you saw that the whole way, Rod. You were pointing as soon as it happened.
Yes, saw it from up here in the booth. And, you know, as you following Rodriguez, you saw the block committed, and there you just have to let up. You know, just do a little simple drive-by just to get in his way, but once you actually make physical contact, they remove that part. That part of the game is no longer welcome.
So now it'll be 2nd and 30 the Lions have to get to the 38-yard line of the Seminoles. The ball is currently spotted at their own 32. On the jet sweep. And taken down near the 40-yard line is Schenker. Cottrell there again for the tackle, a 12-yard gain. So 3rd and forever still.
Good fighting out on the perimeter just to keep him from going north and south. Just keep forcing him to the sideline.
8-yard gain officially
by the Seminoles defense.
Hamilton back in the backfield. 3rd and 22. Rodriguez backpedaling, still on his feet, gonna tuck it and run, makes a man miss, dives forward, gets into FSU territory, but well shy of the first down.
You gotta respect the effort of Eric Rodriguez, just trying to make something happen right there.
It's 4th down, they're gonna go for it here clearly on 4th and 8, but big KJ Sampson. Wait, they may be bringing out the punt unit. Yeah, no, the offense is now running off the field. Big KJ Sampson for Florida State. That's the 2nd time we've called his name today. Making things happen in the backfield.
I love the fact that the Seminoles defense, no matter who's in the game, it's a standard that we live by. And to hold a team, any team, to 0 points is difficult to do, and it should be praised.
The Lions trying to save it, and it's going to be saved inside the 5 by Bryson Davis. They will give it to him at the 2. We'll step aside. The Noles will begin their next drive at their own 2, leading 63-0.
Learned the game and is now one of the key players on the offensive line, George.
Yeah, Victoria, Coach Dalzell told us that he had never played in high school, played a little bit of junior high, Rod, but they saw his size, and he's put on even more size since he's been in the football program. Certainly a story, and he said, look, it was our first year here as a group, and we were battered injury-wise, so we found him in the cafeteria, as Victoria said, and he's been a real surprise for them.
That's an easy find at 6'8".
Glenn over the middle, fires and connects on time to Elijah Moore for the first down. So Brock Glenn, 3rd quarterback for the Seminoles in this one.
Brock Glenmore, your traditional style quarterback in the pocket, has some athleticism, but he does a lot of his damage from the upright position.
They give it to Singleton with a huge hole up the middle, still going, dragging defenders near midfield. A big first down for Samuel Singleton Jr.
Good running and blocking inside by the Seminoles again. It's an inside zone.
Everybody's getting a piece today. That's for sure, if you're the Florida State Seminoles. Everybody wants a shot out there, and they are making the most of it on this afternoon. Singleton again. Finds plenty of room. He's off to the races. One man to beat, and he beats him into the end zone. Touchdown, Florida State. 53 yards. domination today. The extra point up and good. 70-0.
This play started because of the offensive line, but then after that, Sam Singleton does the rest with his footwork, jump cut to the left, and he has the speed to take it into the end zone. This Gus Malzahn offense has had a lot of explosives today, and they're hard to stop.
Singleton, 53 yards to the house. Florida State, more touchdowns. They have scored a TD on every drive today.
Just playing very clean football, not hurting themselves, putting themselves in bad positions.
And by the way, we are on record alert here for Florida State, as their scoring record in the game is 80 back in 2013 against Idaho. And the Noles are the second team in the nation this season to score 70 in a game. USC last week had 73 against Missouri State.
I know we focusing on the offensive side of the ball, George, but what about that defense?
Oh, I knew the safety had to come here and talk about the D for a second.
The shutout. When's the last time Florida State has had the shutout?
All right, we're working on it. Our guy Joe is working on it. You know, you got to look. You got to represent for the defense, man.
Absolutely.
You know,
always got. That's where my heart lies.
Us play-by-play guys are by nature ball watchers, man. You're the guy that can see the field differently. There's Tony White. Your guy Tony White's got to be happy for sure.
Absolutely. And they got to keep it going. They still got a whole nother quarter to play.
So Eric Rodriguez back at the helm for the Lions. They give it to Hamilton. Not much there. We were talking earlier when we were talking about ACC news and notes. We're mentioning Miami, Florida State, their top 10 wins last week, first time in nearly 25 years. But coming up on ACC Network, we've got Clemson and Troy, Virginia Tech, Vandy. Start with Clemson. Tough loss at home against LSU. Cade Klubnik was a guy that you wanted to see what this season looked like. What did you make of that first contest against LSU?
Cade Klubnik last week, the early watch of the Heisman list. You had Nussmeier on the opposite side of him, and Cade to me just seemed a little off. There was a great defense that was played throughout that game, and when you get into those level of games where there's a lot of exchanges going back and good defensive play, you want to see smart football by your quarterback. And the difference in that game was Gus Nussmeier having 230, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, versus Cade Klubnik having 230, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. And so this week, we want to see Cade go in there, play smart football, get his confidence back, because they're going to need a lot of him if they want to end up where they ultimately want to be.
Max Retton with a big hit on Hamilton, whose helmet flew off. And now McBride gets the carry. Not much there either. Yeah, Clemson looking to get right against Troy. 4th down coming here for the Lions. And, I mean, you're down 70 points. Why not? You know, they probably should have gone for it earlier, in my opinion. But at the very least, you can work on something here.
Situational ball right here.
Sure.
4th and 1 is going to come up again at some point in your season.
4th and 1. Rodriguez keeps and swallowed up in the backfield. Florida State turnover on downs. Ashton Bracewell first on the scene.
The speed of this Florida State defense is everywhere. It's on every level. And you saw it right there, because for a second I thought he had it, but there was a swarm of 3 defenders, and Bracewell was there to finish.
So a turnover on downs. The offense will come out. Michael Grant in at quarterback now for Florida State. Fourth quarterback to play today. 23 seconds left in the third quarter. Handoff to the running back, bust to the outside, and hit out of bounds near the 25, Zay Parks.
Responded. We talked about it all week that we wanted to put on display a team that's continuing to get better. And we had a great first week win, but I think they came back and had a great mentality, great attitude. I like the way they played, but we still got one more quarter, and we're gonna go put everything we have out there.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. Go Noles.
All right, Victoria, and thank you to Coach Norvell. Zay Parks with the run there. It'll be 3rd and 2 upcoming here for the Seminoles. At quarterback, Michael Grant.
All right, so now you know it's fourth quarter. And we finish with this case.
And a run up the middle by Parks. First down for the Noles. Rod, if people are wondering at home, you asked about the shutout earlier. The largest shutout in FSU history was 74-0. And that was against Whiting Field.
Timeout on the field for a defensive injury.
Back on October 1st of 1949 as we check in on the injury. Jaheim Lowe, the senior from Cedar Hill, Texas. We will step aside as they tend to him. The Hokies. First down here for the Noles. Parks taken down. Jamar Gilbert with the tackle. We were talking earlier, Rod, you were asking about the shutout. So I had mentioned before the injury to Jaheim Lowe, who was taken off the field. Florida State's largest shutout win was 74-0 against Whiting Field, October 1st, 1949. So if they score a touchdown here, they will surpass that.
They're chasing history right now.
It's a Naval Air Station, Whiting Field.
Charge timeout, Florida State. They're first.
So
Timeout on the field.
we'll step aside. The Noles drives 10 touchdowns. They're looking to make it 11 for 11. And Grant loses the football. It's scooped up by the Lions. And taken down just past the 45-yard line are the Lions. Caleb Miles punched it out, and Preston Hamilton scooped it up and ran to near midfield. So that's the first time the Noles have been turned away.
First turnover of the day for the Noles. Corner blitz, quarterback. Michael Grant didn't see it coming, and Caleb Miles capitalizes. Good punch out too. You know, when you get to the quarterback, it's not good enough just to make the tackle, but how do you make a difference? Caleb Miles does that.
First turnover of the season for Florida State. Can the defense keep pitching a shutout? Jack Jacobs in at quarterback. They hand it off on the left side. A couple yards there for McBride.
Defense, you got put in a position where it's a short field, and you talked about the shutout, George. It weighs on the back of this defense right now as the Lions sit right here at midfield.
Jarvis Boatwright with the tackle. 2nd and 5 for the Lions. as the Noles looking to preserve the shutout. They float one to Jourdain down the sideline, cuts it back inside, and slides down inside the 30. Christian Jourdain, a former walk-on turned all-conference player. He is their best receiver.
Real bright spot on that offense. And, you know, look, he's going to compete to the finish. He has that characteristic in him.
Jacobs launches one down the field. Matthews catches it inside the 10, near the 5 for a first down. And the shutout is in jeopardy.
Right there you had the defender playing inside leverage. They ran a corner route against his leverage. Quarterback does a good job at finding him. Putting it right in the bucket on the sideline.
First and goal for the Lions. Jack Jacobs. At quarterback. They hand it off. And Florida State turns away McBride. Second and goal. Tylen Coleman stuffed McBride.
Let's see if this Seminoles defense can hold up. 4 yards to go. This would be huge.
So the fans, those remaining, trying to cheer on their defense. 6 offensive linemen for the Lions. Florida State trying to preserve their shutout. Jacobs hands it off, and good defense there by the Noles. McBride tripped up by Tylen Lee. Third and goal.
Tylen Lee, good get off, penetration in the backfield, and create a negative play when the Noles needed the most. Every yard matters right now at this part of the field.
Jack Jacobs breaks the huddle. McBride to his left. Florida State inching closer. Here they come. And it's batted away. Ball is on the ground. They're going to rule it incomplete. Gav Holman batted it away.
Tony White with a good time.
Are you surprised they're going to kick a field goal here? Or you just want to get anything positive if you're them?
You need points on the board.
Oslo Rigby. It's up and good. So the shutout is lost. And the Lions pick up 3. Florida, you played at Virginia Tech. You're a Cavalier. That's a tough place to play, man, at night.
Why are you bringing that up, George?
Bad memories?
Sensitive. 0 for 4 in my career at Virginia Tech. And that is a chilling atmosphere to play in. Any football player be grateful to walk into that stadium and perform. I wish, we were talking earlier about being at a away team.
Yeah.
When you walk into a hostile environment, and that's one of those environments which I wish I could have walked into and came out victorious, so I could tell the crowd to just, you know, hush.
Sam Singleton brings it out to the 20. And, you know, it's interesting during our meetings this week with the Lions, Jack Tyler, who's their defensive coordinator, he played 4 years at Virginia Tech. Actually played in the ACC title game against Florida State that Virginia Tech won 44-33. Played a big role in that game. Second leading tackler, had 7 tackles, including 3 tackles for loss. But when we were doing our meetings, He was like, oh, Virginia, right? Yeah, and you guys talked about how you cross paths. And he was like, oh, man, I'm sorry.
He definitely gave me the blues on that one. And I asked for it by bringing it up. I was curious to see if he was there the same time as me. And
yeah, you guys crossed paths. He was 09 to 12, and then you were there.
Both on the defensive side of the ball, so much respect there to Coach Tyler.
Yeah, there's Coach Tyler there. Great player at Virginia Tech, as we mentioned. 4-year player. Played as a freshman through his senior year, an all ACC type player. Michael Grant back in at quarterback now for the Noles. Zay Parks in at tailback. And Parks bursts through the hole towards the sideline. Will pick up the first down near the 40. 14-yard gain.
Good hesitation move by Parks. Very crafty there. This is slight hesitation. Get his blockers out in front of him. And then he was able to get to the outside.
What else was a tough place that you played in during your days at Virginia? Another house of horrors, or maybe a place you had a lot of success at?
Here, Florida State.
Oh, no way.
I came here as a senior. This was a very challenging place. I mean, the environment is electric. It's everything that you want as a football player. And it's just honestly a dream come true to play inside these walls. Now, I watched the ACC very closely.
What was your record here at Doak?
Here, 1-0.
Oh, okay.
So the opposite.
You saved that to the end to make sure nobody heard that too loud around here. I see what you did.
Yeah. my playing days are over, though. So, you know, Seminole fans, give me love. Give me love.
And for those that are wondering, what years were you at UVA?
I was there 2008 until 2012. So my last year was 2011. We actually had the opportunity of playing the Seminoles.
Jeremiah Johnson on the carry, the 7th tailback for the Seminoles, picks up a first down after an 11-yard gain.
Real good talent on that team. E.J. Manuel, Devontae Freeman.
Our colleague E.J. Manuel here at ESPN. Make sure you check out the ACC Network Football Podcast with E.J. Manuel and Roddy Jones. Give you a couple of podcasts a week. It's great listening if you love the ACC. And of course, EJ, he's the mayor when he comes here.
Yes. They were talking about him at the hotel.
Yeah.
They were asking about him.
Love EJ. I saw him actually at the Miami Notre Dame game.
Reason why?
Jeremiah Johnson again, this time hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 685 total yards for Florida State today. Man, there's not much you could say about that. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot, actually, but it is an impressive number that you don't see very often, that's for sure.
You don't. And to see this team come off a big win last week and still come out here with the same level of intensity and toughness and focus says a lot about the mindset of this team, the coaching staff, and just in their eyes, it's a faithless opponent. It doesn't matter who we play. There's just a brand of football that we have to make sure that we play to.
And Coach Norvell told us when you asked him about that Bama win last week, what's the message after such a big win? He said, quote, go respond. Everybody talks about responding to adversity, but how do you respond to success?
Yes.
And I would say the answer is a resounding yes, that they responded properly here today.
They did. And I know a lot of it started throughout the week. The prep, the practice, the reps. You don't come out here and just show up this way. There was a lot of intentionality that was done throughout the week that set you up to have such a successful performance today.
4th down here upcoming. The Noles will keep the offense on the field. Look, it's easy if you're Florida State to get up for your rivals. Miami, Florida. You have a big win against Alabama. There's usually a letdown in some way, shape, or form for most teams. To show out like they did today, again, a testament to Mike Norvell and his staff. And these players, certainly. The whole program, to be honest with you. Screen play here. And Florida State picks up the first down. That's Mallory who picks up the first down for the Noles. A 14-yard gain.
And I always can tell the identity of a team by, when your second and third string guys are out, what does the sideline look like? And if you look down on that sideline, you see a lot of players pulling and rooting for the men that are on the field right now. And that says family to me. That says brotherhood. And you're going to win a lot of games if that continues.
Florida State has 701 yards now. First time since November 4th, 2000 against Clemson. They won 54-7 in that game. Here's a run by Johnson. Picks up another first down. In that Clemson game, they had 771. Let's check in with Victoria.
Guys, to talk about what Rodney just said, being down here, there's not been a single touchdown that has gone by to which these guys have not celebrated louder and louder for each of their brothers, which is really cool to see. You think with the 70-3 score, the next touchdown, all right. No, it's just as hyped for the last one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, because new guys are getting in. I mean, we talked about earlier, Kevin Sperry, Javen Boggs, who else did we have? Usman Chroma. All those guys scored their first touchdowns of their career. So you got to be hyped for those guys, getting their first opportunities to get in the end zone. That's a cherished moment for sure.
Rooting for each other's success. That's what it's about. That's when you see the true makeup of a team. It's not about I, it's about we. And we all play a role in this. Whether these guys throughout the week are scout team looks. I heard a lot of pressers last week about how the scout team was so impactful in the win. You don't hear that too often, how these players, these starters are acknowledging that, and they get it. They know, again, it is a collective effort, which allows them, so far to be on the winning side of things.
Yeah, man, it is one of those moments where these are the games where these reps to me become valuable down the road with these younger guys getting opportunities.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
All right, we will step aside for the 2-minute timeout. Florida State trying to put a bow on this one.
It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
And the Noles score another touchdown. Say Parks hits pay dirt. 13-yard run for Parks. A redshirt freshman from Crestview, Florida, gets the score. First of his career.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 28 and number 15, they're first. That 15-yard penalty is being forced on the kick.
77.
So unsportsmanlike on Boggs and Singleton. Bruno Royce for the extra point. The freshman kicker from Sarasota. The extra point is up and good, just barely. So they lead 77-3, do the Seminoles. That now equals FSU's largest win of all time, the one we referenced earlier in 1949 when they won 74-0 against Whitling Field in Milton, Florida, which is a naval base.
I love to see a lot of these young men get rewarded today. You hear a lot of first-timers going on, first touchdown for quarterbacks, running backs. It's an amazing sight to see because I get it. And these young men put in a lot of work, and it's good that they're, again, able to benefit from that work that they put on here today.
No question about it. These moments build character, and the reps are valuable, as we talked about.
You never know when your opportunity will present itself. And here we are today, late in the fourth, and a guy like Parks, who before today you may have never thought that you would get in.
And we saw Gus Malzahn and Mike Norvell congratulating each other. Those two, a 20-year bond, reunited here. Norvell, the head coach. Malzahn, the offensive coordinator. Says it's just a delight to have him here. Grateful to have him. And he said Gus is in his element. And he's certainly been in his bag, that's for sure. So the kickoff will be from the 20 because of the penalty.
Gus has been locked in all day, and his players have supported him and backed him every chance that they've gotten.
And this one goes into the end zone. Bruno Royce kicks it 80+ yards. 1:54 on the clock, and the Lions will head out one more time.
I love Norvell, too. Coach Mike Norvell. A lot of notable quotes. One thing he's talked about is daily edge. His team, they stay in the moment. They focus on the present, one day at a time. And that started in practice, and it's showing itself here today.
Make sure all your stuff's over there.
Yeah, Coach Norvell has been through a lot here, building this program, rebuilding it. A couple of years ago, 10-3 with Jordan Travis. They had the undefeated regular season. Unfortunately missed the playoff as they get a sack there. Tylen Coleman. And, you know, people can check the receipts. At that time, I felt they should have been in the playoff because their defense was all world that year.
Yes.
And I tweeted it out at the time. You know, I said, look, I don't care they're playing with a backup quarterback. Crazy things can happen in a one-game scenario. So that season, to me, a tough one, certainly. A tough pill to swallow for the Noles, the way that ended without a playoff appearance. Then last year, the tough year. But they have reignited this program for sure.
I'm a guy that has lived it. Literally winning a championship with a backup quarterback. So you never know what you're going to get, and you can't count anybody out. So that was a tough one when they, you know, were counted out that year outside of that top four.
Third and 11. McBride bouncing it to the outside, picks up the first down and then some, and hit in Florida State territory. So time is ticking. We're counting it down here. Ashton Bracewell had a fourth down stop earlier. What a moment, sworn by his teammates on the sideline. He was transitioning to an off-field role with the program before roster spots were grandfathered in under the new rev share agreement. So what a cool day for that young man. And what a day for the Florida State Seminoles. They win 77-3 against the Lions of East Texas A&M.
Well,